George Boulanger, the Bonapartist who never was. For this video, I have decided to do a biography about a fascinating, though underappreciated individual. George Boulanger was a general and politician who stood in defiance of the corrupt political establishment that dominated the French Third Republic. Like Napoleon before him, Boulanger was born into modest means before making his way through the French army brass. He first came to national prominence when he successfully suppressed the Paris Commune of 1870. He was promptly promoted to brigadier general. As War Minister of France under Charles Louis de Sauclair, he instituted several reforms that made him popular with the French army, like allowing them to sport beards. Boulanger sought to restore the French army following its defeat during the Franco-Prussian War. Because of his sheer popularity amongst the troops, he pushed openly for war against Germany. He was one of the most vocal supporters of revanchism. This movement sought to return the conquered territories of Alsace-Lorraine to France. He provoked Germany by building up weapons facilities on the border. Increasingly seen as a threat to the government of René Goblet, he was sacked as war minister and sent to the provinces and away from Paris. Through his sheer charisma, he was able to bring together two old foes, the urban proletariat and the rural Catholic population. Capitalizing on the political corruption, Boulanger championed revenge against Germany and the restoration of the Constitution, and most notably, the return to the monarchy. His political profile was increased when some members of the Bonapartist faction allied themselves with him, and royalists who sought to restore the exiled Bourbons, such as Duchess d'Ursès, became part of his inner circle. The ideology of the Boulangerist movement became a hodgepodge of leftists and rightists who were less concerned with class conflict and more concerned over restoration of France. The leaders of the Third Republic had let the people down following its defeat in the Franco-Prussian War, and wanted to restore France to her former glory. Boulanger changed the face of the right in France by focusing his concerns on national interest and not that of the aristocracy. In 1888, he was elected deputy of the Nord Department, despite not officially being on the ballot. His efforts to amend the Constitution failed in the Chamber of Deputies, so he resigned from his post. A duel in July 13, 1888, resulted in a near-fatal injury by Charles Foucault, the French Prime Minister of the time. Despite this, he remained a force in French politics till 1889. In January, Boulanger was urged by his followers to launch a coup d'etat against the Third Republic, which he declined to do. Charges of treason were drawn up against the general, and he fled Paris on April 1st. Support for him died relatively quickly following his flee from Paris. The Boulangerist movement died out not too long after, and he committed suicide in 1891 in front of the grave of his former mistress. The failure of Boulanger to bring together the left and the right in a more coherent movement is what ultimately brought his movement down. The Republicans in France had found new purpose and consolidated their position. The Third Republic was to remain as the governing force of France till its destruction in 1940.